All right, welcome to a ProFootballDoc Podcast, Sports Injury Central, SICScore.com. This is now week 11, I guess. Week 10, technically, a little bit more. The usual suspects here, Jacob's here, Taylor, Justin's lurking in the background. As soon as we say something bad about him, he'll jump in.
Or the Packers.
Yeah.
It's like a Tony Reali kind of type, right? Catching our mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Some great action this week, right? I mean, obviously Buffalo, Minnesota. I mean, okay, let's start with that. Game of the year or game of the last 365 days.
Okay.
Buffalo versus Minnesota or Buffalo at Kansas City?
Buffalo at Kansas City. For me, personally.
I'm going Buffalo, Minnesota. How many times do you get a 1 yard line fumble, recover for a touchdown to change the lead, and then the game goes overtime after that?
There's no question. As a purist, I think you have to say game of the year or game of the three. I'd agree with Taylor. Buffalo, Kansas City. Not because I was at the game with my son. Yeah,
That's
whatever.
Aside, yeah.
But this game was probably even more unusual than that Buffalo, Kansas City game.
Yep.
That was traditional football, right?
That was just two good teams going at it.
This. I mean,
but this game is like, oh yeah, there's that Justin Jefferson catch too. It's almost like an afterthought, and that catch is like an all-decade catch, all-century catch, maybe.
No question, that catch, and then the Gabe Davis incompletion late.
Yeah.
Well, let's just get it out there at the top here. No, I do not think Josh Allen's elbow or potential ulnar nerve issue had much, if anything, to do with the fumble in his own end zone. I don't know. I guess in theory you could say he didn't take as many snaps during the practice, but he's done that before. I mean, I don't see that
should be
as a big deal. If anything, you'd be like, most times quarterbacks don't take the ball under center anymore, right? That's probably that's a lot of teams, Buffalo included. So I don't think it had anything to do with the fumble. Could it have something to do with he didn't somehow reach in with his right arm and wrestle the ball back? I don't know. I mean, he didn't get the ball back anyways. It wasn't near him, maybe. But he played well in terms of a fantasy perspective. But his QBR wasn't that good, or normally he dominates in QBR, right?
Absolutely.
Running. And his quarterback rating was, 79? Pedestrian for Josh Allen. Once again, I'm not saying it's all elbow. As we said,
78.6, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. He did fine. He put his team in position to win. Fluke got him. I get it. So everyone's going to say, wrong. He played. Look, my impression was he could play, but I didn't think he would because of the risk of injury in terms of the way the team played it.
Right.
He made it through. So good on the Bills.
Is he out of the woods so far? If he plays next week, is it not a concern for a further tear of that UCL?
Look, if he hits it the right way, it's still a concern. So I hope they still have a modified game plan with ball out, and let's not worry about 7 and 9 step drops and 4th reads, right? Let's get the ball out and get going, or run. No one wants to see him hurt. And look, I'd rather be wrong on the thought and the risk of injury and have him be healthy. I don't take any delight if we're right. By the way, you guys aren't addressed today. What's up? You didn't get the memo?
I did not get the memo.
This is like a tech company business casual for us.
Yeah.
I actually went the opposite.
Casual.
You're millennial casual.
I'm wearing sweatpants. I went the opposite of you completely.
No, I don't have my red shirt on today. And yeah, it's a work day. And I don't often dress. I mean, with post-pandemic, I started getting lazy and scrubs all the time.
You and everyone.
And we're in San Diego. But yes, I have a sport coat on, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Just
you guys didn't get the memo.
We did not.
Fired.
No, it's okay.
Last thing on Josh Allen, I think both of his picks came on the run. I know at least one of them when he was rolling right and trying to throw across his body. Is that at all related to the elbow? Is that a max effort throw?
It could be because it's an all-arm throw
right,
as opposed to stepping into the throw. But I don't want to be accused of, see, I'm right. That's
me nitpicking.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
That can happen any time. And,
right.
we did did see, we all saw that one time where the camera was in his face, threw the ball 20 yards and he grimaced.
Yep.
But even in the command center, I was like, does he do that always? Maybe. I mean,
And Bills fan said he did. So I mean, I don't know. We haven't gone back to tape.
You can't tell me that was a max effort throw, though.
Right.
I mean, that's like a routine throw for Josh Allen. But he did grimace. But then again, as I said in the quote war room at the time, right? Some tennis players grunt on every shot,
right.
Whether it was max
part of the process. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, he looked good, but hopefully they remember potential re-injury and keep him safe. No one wants.
I don't know what I'm more impressed by, the Josh Allen's performance after not practicing, or Sean McDermott with the hour by hour. He's out there and he runs off the field when the media is present. He's not even out there for pregame warmups.
Can I be honest with you?
Comes back after.
He was totally honest with Elvis, because it was hour by hour, and you even said on your tweet it's going to be minute by minute soon, and it was. Like
realistically, when did they determine Josh Allen's going to play? Thursday, Friday, Sunday morning?
Let me let you on a secret. I've talked about this on SiriusXM before with Mark Dominic and others and asked the questions. When someone says game time decision, the public perception assumption is the team doesn't know and they'll decide on the morning of. In 2 decades, I don't think we've ever had a true game time decision. The closest we've had is we think he's going to play, but make sure you get on the first bus and let's work you out and make sure it's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Or we think he's not going to play. Let's work you out on the first bus or check you in the morning just in case. You know, but this whole media perception of game time decision, 50-50, we're going to flip a coin. We don't know which way it's going to go.
There's too much writing on that.
I look, there's people's jobs and livelihoods that machinations and thought process and meetings and medical staff. I mean, it's not the Sandlot or high school. We don't know game time decision.
Right.
And Mark Dominic agreed. Other GMs agreed. Like, it's not a true game time decision. You hear it now in media, true game time decision as opposed to false game time decision. They have a leaning. Like Josh Allen, I think what happened is they looked at it. They wanted him to play. He wanted to play.
Right.
And they determined based on what they found with the MRI and from doctors that you can't make me believe there was no risk of hurting the elbow, because it's the collision sport of football.
Right.
Even if his elbow were healthy, there is some risk. But there was more risk, but they accepted the risk. And they got away with it week 1. Hopefully they'll get away with it week 2. Every week will be better, but it's not going to be 100%. I mean, let's think about it. Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, we think bone bruise. And we said before the bye week for the Cowboys, not only is he not going to play before, but I think he might miss the week after.
Right.
And everyone was no. Jerry Jones, he's playing. And then late week, it started to shift, and then he was out, right? Do you really think the medical staff of the Dallas Cowboys was surprised on Sunday morning?
Like, he's probably been out since Wednesday in their eyes, right? But like, he's game time decision to us until a certain point.
I mean, Matt Stafford, okay? I think a lot of people heard the story. And Kyler Murray, right? Was it Colt McCoy?
Yep.
And
John Wolford,
and who was it? They bought a bunch of tickets to the game.
Colt McCoy's friend.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they can't get it from the Cardinals, so they had to contact the Rams. So then the Rams kind of leaked the story out that Colt McCoy. That's what I saw the story. I was like, okay.
The Rams leaked the story.
Yeah.
Well, come on, there. You couldn't go through an intermediary.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that was a little odd.
I mean, you couldn't say, "Hey, JJ, we don't want the secret to get out. Can you buy 20 tickets for me and I'll pay you back?"
Right.
They're not going to say no to JJ Watt.
Right.
Yeah.
If JJ Watt calls the Rams, they're going to get it for him, aren't
Absolutely.
they? I mean, you couldn't figure it out another way than Colt actually calling. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that seems a little fishy. But remember, going back, I know Taylor remembers this. Jacob probably remembers. Back when Mitch Trubisky was quarterbacking the Bears, and Chase Daniel was the backup, and it was the Thanksgiving Day game. And I didn't even see the Mitch Trubisky injury because it was a Thursday game after Sunday. Monday's injury report was they had to indicate throwing shoulder. So right shoulder,
you had to say something on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the reports came out from all the big boys. He's fine. But the head coach said happened near the end of the game with the Harrison Smith hit from the Vikings.
Yes.
So we went back and looked at it. This is a couple years ago, and looked at it. Oh, he subluxed his throwing shoulder. He's not playing
on the short turnaround. Yeah.
And I think I was working with the San Diego Union Tribune at the time, and the line moved, and you helped me write some of that. And the day of the game, they said, oh, he's likely to play still. Then all of a sudden, he's not playing, but if it was a regular week, he would have played. It was a short week because of Thursday Thanksgiving game. Meanwhile, the line moved across 3 and the whole deal. And I was like, no, I think he's missing next week too. And sure enough, he did. So why am I going through this long story? The day after the game, I saw a story. Somebody interviewed Chase Daniel's wife and said, how was it? Your husband finally got a start in the whole deal. And he said, yeah, it was a hectic week. We were getting ready to host Thanksgiving. The family was coming over. I was going to cook on Thanksgiving. They'd be home by the evening because it was an earlier day game. And my husband called me on Monday and said, change of plans. You better come to Detroit
on Monday.
on Monday. Okay. I mean, come on. I mean,
they know.
They know. They're not dumb. I mean, they know. They're just not telling us is all. And by the way, there were some media rumblings, Josh Allen running off. Okay, helmet, no helmet. There was a lot of media. Some called me and talked to me and said, yeah, I talked to a number of media. They all said, yeah, I don't think he's going to play. And I said, and they said, they thought that was staged, right? We talked about
him running off,
looking at the media, oops, and running off. I'm like, I don't buy that for 1 second. Any respectable football player, and I don't know Josh Allen, if you would have said that to Phillip Rivers, if you would have said that to Drew Brees or Doug Flutie or LaDainian Tomlinson or Antonio Gates, you name it, whoever, that we're going to stage this and you're going to run off, they would have looked at you and said, nah. First of all, I don't think Sean McDermott would. He's a football guy. The PR department came up with it. The player and the coach, we're not doing that.
You're not going to get everybody involved in that.
I think what happened is they said, look, it is our policy that everyone talks to media who practices. You're going to be limited practice. So just exit before media comes out and then get out of there and you won't have to talk to media. So we can keep our little secret that indeed we're trying to play you. Right? So Josh, we don't want you to lie. So why don't you just get out of there?
Yeah.
And so after a game, look, how many times after sports that you're horsing around with your buddies, this, that, the other, and you're chatting, you're enjoying yourself, and all of a sudden, ooh, media's here. Bye. And he runs off, right? I mean, I don't think it was staged. No. I mean, it's just football players are football players. Josh Allen is a football player. Right. That wasn't staged. I don't buy that at all. Look, there's no question Tom Brady stages some stuff related to the media.
No way. Yeah.
Whatever.
He's 2-0 since his filing for divorce, by the way.
No, that's not true. That's fake news.
Really?
That's fake news.
Since the official divorce came
through. Yeah. 2-0
you
since
said
official.
Filing for divorce.
No, official. Okay.
No, since he's been officially divorced.
His mind's
if you want to move the goalposts.
Yeah, I'm moving them.
Yeah, no, don't go there. But anyways, speaking of the Germany game, do you guys like that?
A little. I like waking up early. But
let me tell you, it's almost more likely to have a franchise in Germany than it is in London.
I agree with that.
I mean, in the end, NFL Europe was NFL Germany.
Yep.
It was 5 German teams that sold out everywhere.
Absolutely.
And one, it was like Amsterdam and Germany at the end, right? The British teams, the England teams and whatever, Barcelona. Germany is a hotbed there of American football.
And football in general. Yeah.
Should we all sing
John Denver? Yeah.
Yeah. Should we sing Country Roads?
Yeah.
Maybe Justin will play that for everyone in the background. You guys want to sing along? Lip sync?
I'm good.
No. Do you guys even know who John Denver is?
Oh, of course. I know that song. They even made a movie, Logan Lucky or something like that with Channing Tatum. It's a good movie.
You say, of course. There's so many things where I bring up and you
John told us we don't know about Dominique Wilkins. I was offended by that.
We both got good dads. They educate us on what we need to know culturally.
Yeah. Okay, so that means there's a gap. What your dad educated you on and what you know. And then there was like a gap.
Correct.
Where your dad educated you and then a gap. And then
yes.
Correct.
Because there's so many pop culture things that you guys just don't, I mean, I don't know. Like the movie Stripes or Animal House.
You did get us on Stripes.
You're like, what is that? Right? I mean, that's too young for your dad.
Correct.
But too old for you guys to have any appreciation.
That's the exact
gap. My dad's a Bill Murray fan. It's the only reason why he watched that.
I went to Disneyland this weekend with the kids for their 10th birthday.
Oh, you're gonna be losing on the characters. You probably don't know any of the characters, huh?
Oh, a lot of the characters I don't know.
Yeah, they're changing them.
and then we're timing things out, and of course they have the new Star Wars. I don't even know what it's called. Star Wars ride. There's the one where there's a mission.
Yes, yeah, you have to walk through and everything.
There's a new one that like your hockey puck or floating around.
Yep.
Anyways,
Sounds awesome.
It's
cool.
so fun. Yes, very fun.
So we're trying to time things out to get everyone to do everything. It's like a management issue.
Yeah.
Scheduling out.
And I have an older daughter. She's a senior in college. And I said, well, you're going to want us to do Star Wars, aren't you? Like thinking. And she goes, I've never seen a Star Wars movie.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, well, the 10-year-olds have because of the remakes, right?
She's
in
a
gap where she's never seen. I was like,
I was Darth Vader for 9 years in a row.
I'll tell you,
Halloween.
was he at a different age
I
group
know.
than she
I
is?
know.
Although
You're
my
officially
wife
old.
told this story,
It's true.
my son and the kids, they know way more music than I can't name anything.
Because there's YouTube videos. My little girl watches
Yep.
song after song after song.
Yeah, my little 5-year-old went and bought on the way out a baby Winnie the Pooh doll. I'm like, where do you watch Winnie the Pooh? It's like, it must be YouTube or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they stopped showing that like 20 years ago.
Anyways, my son, God love him. You see him on the Twitter live stuff.
Yes, I believe.
Play music, and he's like, Mom, play that song. What song? That song I had the other day. By who's it by? And he starts singing it. I can't sing it. Don't make me sing it. I don't know the song. He goes, by that guy, DRE. And my wife goes, DRE? You mean Dr. Dre?
Yeah. Wow.
No.
Yeah.
But here's his defense.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to sing the lyrics. What's his most famous song in the lyrics? By the
so
bleep,
many.
bleep, DRE.
Yeah.
He says it
He
in the
refers to
lyrics.
himself a lot as Dre.
Yeah.
No, but he
You're supposed to
says
know the doctor part.
no, but in the song
Oh,
lyrics,
DRE, yeah.
DRE.
That's fair.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't know. I don't know how we got sidetracked. Country roads, though.
Country Road is the reason. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing. I saw so much on the internet. Oh my gosh! First of all, is John Denver a cult guy there? I don't know. I mean, like growing up, you guys probably don't know this either. I mean, what's a foreign song that you sang when you grew up or knew or heard in a foreign language?
Foreign language song?
Okay, I'm going to date myself, and I'll bet
Macarena.
all you
I was
guys.
just thinking of Macarena. That's the first thing I thought of.
Oh,
It's not
God.
even foreign language.
Okay.
That's the first thing I thought of too.
The two songs that come to my mind are probably not even songs you ever heard of.
Okay.
With a 99 Luftballons or something. There's a
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah.
heard that.
There's like a
Kind
remix
of.
on the
I'm
radio
not as
now.
much
So
on that.
yeah.
What about like grade school? Farajaka.
Oh yeah.
I know Verge.
Oh yeah, okay.
for sure.
I was
There
like,
you go.
okay.
See, grade
We-
school songs,
see,
they get
yeah.
passed along, I think.
We're,
Okay.
we're barely in the last generation that played the recorder, so we played Fairjock on that.
If you ask,
Okay. And wait, did you make a case out of a box of toothpaste and that's what we did. Like,
Okay.
recorder case,
Yeah.
right. Project. You put it in the
that's
and then
funny.
the box that the Crest toothpaste comes in. You put paper over it and color it.
There you go.
I don't know. Showing my age there. Anyways, off the rails here. Country roads. Okay. I don't know what Denver is, but I'm getting to a medical point. I'll bet you guys you don't know this. Do you realize when you sing Farajaka, you have no accent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Have you ever been? First of all, let's back up. Most Germans speak English.
Correct.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
I mean, most European countries are bilingual or trilingual or whatever.
Right.
Most, at least where I've been in Germany, most of them speak
Better than
English.
us, that's for sure. Yeah.
Most Germans speak English. I
Right.
think. Okay. Second of all, do you realize when you sing, you never have an accent? See, there's the medical tidbit. See, this is medicine. You never have an accent when you sing. When you speak, you have an accent. But when you sing, you don't because it's in the tones.
Right.
So if you listen to the country roads, you think everyone speaks fluent English. They're able to mimic. You ever been to Europe and you have a singer and they're singing the Beatles' American song and you talk to them, they don't speak a lick of English,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Because they're able to mimic the
Memorization,
sounds
yeah.
and
Because
tones.
they're not have to mimic the accent. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's in music. No one has an accent when you're singing.
There you go. Fun fact of the day.
Okay.
Fun fact of the
Okay,
week.
maybe
I have another-
rapping,
I have another fact,
rapping you
too.
might, but
Yeah.
because you're speaking
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Because you're trying.
But when
yeah.
you're truly singing, like when you sing Farajaka, people don't have an accent.
Yeah.
And so when Germans sing country roads, they don't have an accent, but they do speak English. But usually,
Right.
So, anyways,
Can I tell you what the connection with that? His last name's actually Duchendorf. Didn't say that right, probably. So his dad was in the military, and he was German, so that's why maybe
John Denver.
John
German?
Denver's name is Henry John Duschendorf Jr.
All
and his
right.
dad's very
Wow.
German. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
don't know
wanted to-
how
I
you
was-
guys all tied that together, but I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
I don't know that either. But anyways, I like that stuff. I told you I always liked Sticks Renegade being the fourth quarter
yep,
Steelers.
you always like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I like the Padres with Blink 182.
They're
you know,
trying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously Red Sox with whatever that song is.
Yeah,
Oh.
Neil Diamond.
Yes,
Yeah.
Neil Diamond,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, since we're off the rails, let's jump to NBA real quick.
All right.
Got some NBA coach speak on
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. There you go.
Top of my thing.
On the LeBron James groin strain that's kept him out for at least one game. They got 4 days off and they play Friday. Darvin Ham said of LeBron James groin strain, there was nothing torn. He just had a sprain.
It's the Darvin doublespeak.
Yeah.
Look, non-medical person, they're forgiven.
Right.
Okay. And we've said and reported his groin strain is not as bad as
The
a couple years ago.
2018 one.
2018,
Yep.
where he missed 18 games.
Yeah.
17. Yep. Sorry.
17.
Sorry.
18.
Wow.
18.
Fact check without 18. He says 18.
I don't know why.
I think there's a wager coming here. We all get lunch from no, anyways. Whatever. We thought this is maybe half as bad. So maybe missing most of November and then coming back in December sometime.
Yeah.
Head coach LeBron James hasn't said much about it. He said it was a spasm, but it's obviously more than a spasm
Right.
if it shows up on MRI. Spasm doesn't show up on MRI. So they're saying not as bad, partial strain. Whether it's strain, sprain, kind of doesn't matter. Whether it's muscle or tendon. Bottom line is adductor. In order to see it on MRI, there has to be some either inflammation or damage.
Right.
So partial a strain by definition is at least a tear. Now, grade 1 minimal, grade 2 partial, grade 3 complete. I get it. He's probably saying he doesn't have a complete tear, but he does have a tear. There's disruption of fibers. So we do expect LeBron to continue to be out or limited or risk re-injury for the next couple of weeks, probably a week or two or more. Even I don't know that he's going to come back as quick as people think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use him in. I mean, Anthony Davis has taken on a huge role in that offense. Taylor's been hitting his props for 6 picks. I think we're up to 17 and 11, 17 10.
17, 11. I did drop a link in Slack saying 17 games for LeBron James just to make sure.
All
For
right.
the groin.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
count that.
Okay.
I'll count that later. But that's all right.
But the bottom line is he's what, 35?
37.
37.
Yeah, he's old.
And he's played 20 years of
Yep.
NBA basketball,
Yes.
including deep into the playoffs for the vast majority, including a lot of NBA finals. So he's played 20 NBA
Got a lot of
seasons
mileage. Yeah.
and extended seasons, and he plays hard, and he's a big guy. I'm amazed he's lasted so long without more.
I think he's
issues.
starting to come up though. Since he's joined the Lakers, I think every single season he's been missing a decent amount
Father
of games.
time is
Yeah.
undefeated
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
in the end.
yeah.
They have that commercial with Father Time. Do you see that?
They
With
really
LeBron
do.
James, he's fighting with Father Time,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah.
What number is LeBron now?
I don't
Still
know.
23, right?
23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's LB 23
Yep.
instead of TB 12.
He should never be wearing 23. I know, but
I don't know. All right, what else we got here? We got a lot of stuff this week, I think.
Yeah, back to so some hiding behind health. The Panthers are switching streams, going the other way with it now. They announced this morning PJ Walker high ankle sprain. Baker Mayfield to start this week. PJ Walker played the whole Thursday game, finished the game. We didn't really see much, and then all of a sudden on Monday they come out with a high ankle sprain. So we'll go back and look at footage, but it seems like their mind's made up on Baker.
Well, and this is where hiding behind health is, right? I mean, we didn't see anything on PJ Walker. Maybe he has something mild, but enough to finish the game.
As a mobile quarterback, yeah.
And look, Ryan Tannehill finished the game and then now missed 2 weeks
Right.
and now is back. And yeah, it is hiding behind health. And I'm not saying they're completely lying. Instead of saying, PJ, you're benched now, it's, oh, PJ, you have a high ankle. He does. Now, if that high ankle were on Tom Brady, he'd play. And I'm not saying Tom Brady in terms of toughness or if that, look, hiding behind health. If Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen, he would not have played. That would have been a hiding behind health benching with his elbow, right? But it's Josh Allen. So, yeah, it's PJ Walker. So any small thing, and here you go. There's lots of examples of it. In New Orleans, Heidi might help to get Dalton in there. Now Winston's we've been saying for weeks he's healthy, but now there's a lot of rumbling. He's healthy. Now it's clearly become a coaching decision. We've said for weeks it's a coaching decision. Right. We were surprised that Jameis Winston played that first week with the transverse process fractures. More surprised that he played than he didn't play.
Because they released a back injury news after, like, to a game after he already played through it, right? Like, it wasn't like after. So I mean,
well, the bottom line is that's a hiding behind health. I mean, It's a coach's decision. It happens a lot. What's another one?
Was Jeff Saturday this week. Matt Ryan kept it under wraps the whole time. 2 weeks ago, it was shoulder sprain, and he's done for a season. I don't think they said done for the season, but they said it's Sam Ellinger the rest of the way.
Well, I know what I mean. Jeff Saturday, congratulations, he won, but I guarantee you, he's staying in the building. Because he said in his opening press conference before he really probably talked to Ellinger or any of the coaches, Sam Ellinger is the starter, and he can defend that. You can't call him a liar. He says, "Yeah, when I said press conference, he was the starter.
Didn't talk to anybody yet. Yeah,
I wasn't trying to change anything." And then I got in the building and I realized Matt Ryan was healthy, and I said, "Okay, I'm going with Matt Ryan."
Right.
I mean, so there are defenses for it, but that's what we're here to do: interpret the coach speak a little bit in terms of what's going on. So there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you got to manage the team. We do it all the time. Look, I do coach speak to Taylor all the time.
He's gotten good at interpreting it. So
LeBron James is number 6, by the way, guys.
He's back to number 6.
Justin's not doing a good Tony Reale job for us. I'm trying. I got to
do both.
6.
Yeah, number 6. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, sometimes it's coach speak, and sometimes you guys don't listen. How'd that overdo there?
Which one?
On the aircraft carrier.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Gonzaga, Michigan State. Yeah. Another interesting one to watch for fantasy purposes. Tampa Bay played in Germany, so they got a week off this week. But Leonard Fournette came out with a hip pointer. They said hip during the game, doubtful, and after the game, Todd Bowles said hip pointer. Rachaad White seemed like they were switching running backs per drive anyways. So Rachaad White finished with 22 carries for 105, and Leonard Fournette had 14 for 57 and a touchdown.
Well,
now there's reports that he could play after the bye week.
I think
what
he
Schefter's
can
saying.
Play after the bye week. Hip pointer, you can inject it to play, but depending on how sore he is in practice. Look, if Rachaad White is on the borderline of taking his job and he gets all the reps all week because he doesn't need an injection, Rachaad White's the starter.
Right.
Now, hiding behind health, they can either keep Rachaad White as a starter, or Fournette, when you're healthy, you get the job back.
Right.
Boom, healthy, and you get the job back.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it changes. I mean, that's what coaches do.
They're dead last in rushing yards per game. I know a lot of that's O-line, but part of it's Fournette as a plotter behind a bad O-line versus Rachaad White, younger guy with some elusive skills, and
well,
can catch the ball. Didn't really last game, but he can catch the ball also. So it's not like you're losing anything.
But I mean, look, we have so many games on. I don't watch every one, but if you look at game strip, I mean, this Germany game, Tampa Bay was playing from ahead. Are we shocked they had a lot more rushing yards?
Right.
I mean, as opposed to in other games when they're playing from behind and what have you, right?
Seattle's defense isn't exactly shutting people down. So
no.
Let's get into some big ones to watch for week 11. Cooper Kupp, a big fantasy name, out with the right high ankle sprain. Seems like there's some optimism that it's not the worst case scenario, but what is the best case scenario, Doc?
Cooper Kupp needs to play. He has to play because he's like the last man standing on my Scott Fish fantasy team. I'm limping through right now with so many injuries and
our kicker had 18 points this week.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I mean, look, Cooper Kupp's got to get health. No, just joking. I mean, we did the video from the war room here. High ankle, significant, hopefully no fibula fracture. That would end his season. People are saying it's the better case / best case scenario, or let me rephrase that. It's not the worst case scenario.
Right.
So I would interpret that as no fibula fracture. But I still am expecting IR a minimum 4 weeks.
You are expecting IR, you said, yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I won this week, but I think
4 weeks without Kupp. That's your number 1 pick. Yeah. That hurts.
A lot of people are in that same boat.
I'm limping in. Like, I won't even tell you who my quarterbacks are. It's bad. It's capital BAD bad.
Yes.
But a convincing win, I think, this week. Well, I guess it's not done yet. We still have Washington.
I looked at it. It
and
looks like you're okay. Yeah.
yeah, with a my defense is really good.
Yes.
Except we don't have any defenders.
We play the teams
we
that
play
have
a
bad
team
weeks.
that
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the team's worse than you are that week. You're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, Cooper Kupp, expect him to hit IR.
Right. So they play the Saints next week. Is there? I mean, no two concussions are the same. Stafford didn't make it back for this week. What are his chances against the Saints?
I think better than 50-50.
Yeah. And that line's at 3. That +3 Saints are at home. So
Yeah. But I think better than 50-50 that Stafford plays.
Yeah. Well, the week will tell. We'll see his practice pattern coming out starting Wednesday.
Yeah, it was just too close with the Tuesday, Wednesday entry.
Right.
LP
Delayed
on
symptoms. He
Friday.
got placed in concussion protocol on Tuesday, so it was tough to turn around and get cleared by Sunday.
it's like a Thursday game, right? If he got on Sunday, it's hard to play Thursday.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying. It's not impossible that he could be cleared, but it's not impossible to get a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, but chances are not good.
Right.
And it was chances not good. He didn't make it. But this next week, I think they're reasonable or good. As a matter of fact, I think he has a better chance of playing this week than Kyler. Now, I know they don't play each other again, right? This last week, it was Kyler and Matt
Because
Stafford.
one needs to clear. The other one is dealing with something that's hampering him significantly.
That's the next one I was going to. Kyler Murray, they play on Monday, so an extra day rest. But in Mexico City, Colt McCoy looked like he picked up a hamstring in that same game against the Rams. So they face the Niners, division opponent. They need a win. So
That's going to be interesting. I mean,
Does Kyler travel as a backup, or does he leave him? How does that work?
they're definitely traveling.
How it works is the only reason you don't travel is if you know for sure
You're not going to play.
you're not going to play.
Okay.
If you know for sure, then okay, then it's not.
Like Cooper
travel.
Kupp gets left home, hamstring. Kyler, you might bring him along.
I think they're going to bring him along,
Okay.
right? And then we'll see, because I don't know when they go to Mexico City, but
Yeah.
they're probably not going in on Sunday night, right?
Right.
They're probably going a couple days
That's what I
early or
figured.
something.
Yeah.
So they'll probably bring him, and it's not impossible that we see the third stringer.
Okay.
If-
Trace
if-
McSorley.
Trace
Penn
McSorley.
Stater,
Sorely.
Penn
It's
Stater,
not
yeah.
impossible. Right now, I think Colt McCoy is the favorite to play, but Trace McSorley and Kyler, they're on the radar screen.
Well, Trace is mobile, and that's
Right.
why he can replicate a little what Kyler does. Colt's just a game manager, throwing it to the DeAndre and trying to work down the field.
They got O-line issues, so you don't want two guys back there with bad hamstrings trying to escape, and Kyler got sacked 5 times in the second half after picking up the initial hamstring injury. So
No question. That
Be a
was
big
the
one to
week
watch.
before, and this is a big one to watch here in terms of the Cardinals offensive line. And then the other thing that we skipped over, the Germany game. That was interesting that they almost didn't get the passport for Fournette.
yeah, me and Taylor were talking about that. I mean, I understand it. There was kind of some rumors about Kenneth Walker not having a passport to get the Germany game. That makes more sense. First year out of college. Fournette's been in the league, 6-7 years? He hasn't had it come up since then. He hasn't traveled anywhere that's needed a passport. He's made his money. that's an interesting one.
Maybe look, I'm not going to
Cabo
say.
with the boys, like he should have passport, right?
I don't know.
Very
I mean,
surprised on that.
No, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, let me ask this question: do you know where your passport is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually use it for my ID because I
Yeah.
lost my ID.
Oh, because
So-
you don't drive.
Yeah,
So
I
you don't
just
have a
use my-
driver's
yes, I
license.
just use
That's
my
why you use
passport.
for ID.
I have a decent answer.
Say the real reason. Okay, you don't have a driver's license. Okay,
That's my
everyone
answer.
else uses a driver's license.
Yes.
My wife has it somewhere. I think it's in the house. I don't know. Do you know when your passport expires?
Yes, 2026.
Well, you just
maybe?
traveled.
Yeah.
You just traveled.
I'm just saying,
2023.
if I got a trip coming up, I'm going to know where my passport
I
is.
look
I'm going
at
to
the
make
date
sure
every
I
day.
talk to someone on the team to make sure I got a passport and I'm cleared.
Well, tell me how you said before. You said the teams usually
Well,
gather.
first of
yeah.
all, I think it's unfair to say everyone for sure has a passport and has it ready to go.
I think you're right about
but
that.
But if I'm in the league,
Ryan,
6,
you got a
8 years,
passport? When does it expire? Where is it?
2025.
Oh, look
he
at
just
you
got it
guys.
recently. Then
You guys are
Yeah,
on top
we're
of it.
on it.
Got for Cabo sophomore year of high school.
see Cabo.
See,
See, there you
Cabo.
go, Cabo.
Okay. That may be a California or
Yeah,
San Diego
yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Because Mexico's right there.
I don't know. I mean, did he not have one? Did he have one and it expired? I mean, they do move cities and move. I mean,
Did you lose it along
did
the
he
way?
lose it somewhere
That'd
and
probably
he
make
didn't
more
have
sense.
it? And then, especially with pandemic, post-pandemic.
It's hard to get it back.
There's
Doesn't it take like 3
backlog.
months?
It takes
Yeah.
months to get
Yeah,
it
that's what I
back,
thought.
and you can try to expedite it, but I don't know.
It does
Justin,
seem a
you
little weird, though. I'm pumping in because he was on the Jaguars, which essentially was like the team that traveled, right? Weren't they the team that
Oh, they went to
traveled all the
London
time?
a bunch, yeah.
How that is weird. How did he get away with not having one?
It's a good
and
call,
play for the
actually.
Jaguars.
Who said he didn't have one? He just doesn't
Yeah.
have it. He could have lost it.
Okay, no,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
the move from Jacksonville to Tampa. I mean,
It's true.
I don't know. It could
Or
have expired.
Yeah.
And he didn't
All right.
notice, and now you have to reapply and go through things. But let
All
me
right.
tell you what teams do
I'll put the pitchforks down.
in training camp. When there's a trip abroad,
Yep.
everyone, they say bring your passports in, and they collect it. And certainly when you hit the final roster, bring your passports in, and they collect it. And they give you the option to just keep it there, and they'll store it for you because you're not going anywhere in season.
Right.
So they have it. And when we traveled, the travel guy held every passport. He didn't give it to guys because then, I left it in my hotel room. Like when we went to Europe and played in London, we left from Buffalo to go to London.
Mhm.
So now you're going to tell someone to pack in your bag from home to
Multi-city,
Buffalo,
yeah.
Buffalo in your hotel room, and then when you have a big travel party, someone's going to forget it
Right.
or leave it at the hotel. I remember once I was on a fun trip to Brazil with a dozen friends, and sure enough, one location, a guy left his passport, and we were mad at him because he had to drive like 2 hours back to the
Right.
hotel to go get it. Right. So now it happens. So I don't know what it's all about.
I left
but
it in my
happens.
back pocket in the wave pool before in Vegas. And I went back to the hotel and
floated
I
back
patted
some.
my butt and
Yeah.
it wasn't there. So I walked down and it was lost and found, thank God. But
Oh, you lost it and you didn't realize it because you were hydrating.
yes, I was
Yeah.
keeping very hydrated. For sure. Yes, absolutely.
Wave pool. Okay.
Yep.
Wave pool or rave pool?
What's the one that just go the slow pool?
Lazy River,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lazy River. That's what
That's
it
sure
was.
it
Yes,
I think it
yes.
was a rave pool.
rave pool, not a wave pool. Yes, got the.
We're on TikTok Live. We're trying that out for our podcasts and fantasy football podcasts, all that. Sunday mornings at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern. Got a question about JuJu. And we don't have to go too into the concussion topic, but JuJu with the clear posturing, helmet to helmet hit, fourth of his career. Were you surprised that flag got picked up versus the Dre Greenlaw, Justin Herbert hit?
So JuJu's wasn't even that was a penalty. Was
No,
it?
they picked
Juju,
up the
they was a
flag.
flag and they picked it up. Yeah, that was kind of.
They said the clarification was he led with his shoulder and just happened to hit him helmet to helmet.
And then 2 plays after, he did the same thing to Scantling.
Yep. And after the game, Valdez Scantling said Dre Greenlaw gets suspended, but we get never mind. And then dot.
Is Greenlaw going to get suspended? Is it automatic suspension after targeting?
They can review that again.
Okay.
It's gonna be
So-
finers.
so to me, let's talk about the medical.
Yeah.
Posturing looks scary, but that doesn't guarantee that he's out next week.
Okay.
It's about what his recovery path is. If he still has a headache today, he's likely out. If he posturing, but I woke up and I'm fine and everything's fine, he still has a path to get through and play.
Do you think this day and age with the new Tua stuff that they just do it, sit him out because it was so visual defensing?
It depends.
Well,
I mean,
we've seen the numbers have gone up. I mean, through week 6, it was about 16% of players clear in less than a week to make it back for the next game. And now it's about 22, 23%.
Well, it's like any new rule,
it's gone
right?
up.
You
Yeah.
listen to it for the first couple weeks.
There's the
and then you
immediate
start
reaction. And
circumventing
then,
it.
yeah, I mean, you can't judge concussions that way. So he's not guaranteed out. Yes, it's more scary publicly. And, let's look at what happened to Justin Herbert. Okay. He got hit. You can argue whether it should be a penalty or not. I think most people would say it shouldn't have been an
I
injection.
don't think it
Right.
was. Yeah.
He
I think that's
he
most
got-
people's
he
issue.
got
with it.
hit but the Walter Anderson referee said his knee was down, so it was unnecessary. Do you think Dre Greenlaw's looking if his knee skimmed the ground? I mean,
Right.
it wasn't like obviously down. He didn't slide.
And he's supposed to dive out the way once he sees the knees
The
down.
target moves.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to move mid, I think.
As Kyle Shanahan said, I could see the penalty. I just don't see the ejection.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But here's my point. Couple points. Number one, they spent all this time huddling and talking about the injection, and then you eject him. And they're about ready to go on to the next play. And then the buzz down comes to get rid of Justin Herbert. How can you have it both ways? How can you not have buzzed him down early for a head check?
Right.
send him immediately
instead
out,
of after the fact. And if anything, maybe he gets a head check during the discussion with the referee and comes back sooner. I don't know if he clears, right? And he did clear. It was basically halftime. But here's the other thing. Did you find it strange? I found it a little strange. Okay, New York is calling this in. Okay, and TV, if I'm not mistaken, said Troy Vincent called it in. Mike Pereira, whoever came on.
NFLPA guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, he's an NFL guy.
Is he just doing that
He's
stuff?
in the
Okay.
league. He's in 345 Park Avenue.
Oh, he's a league office. Okay.
But he's not a referee. So that's just my question. Do non-referees now adjudicate ejections in game? I get non-referees adjudicate penalties and fines and whatever, but in game, I always thought it was a referee in New York
Mhm.
that said, I've looked at it. I know all the rules
with
inside and out.
understanding the rules. Yeah,
And maybe Troy Vincent knows all the rules.
sure.
But I didn't realize it was a non-referee that made that call.
That's
That it was a
interesting.
non-referee calling a referee, right? I mean, you certainly don't want a non-doctor calling a doctor to make a call.
Right.
I
That's
mean,
why he's put.
If someone, the guy upstairs, the red hat, there's a neuro guy who can buzz down, but also an ATC, athletic training. But at least they're medical. You wouldn't want an administrator buzzing down. I mean, I thought that was kind of strange, right? I mean, look, if someone was going to tell a doctor on the field what to do, I'd want it to come from Dr. Alan Sills,
Right.
not Troy Vincent.
He's the VP of officiating, so he knows the rules very well.
So he's in charge of the department.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I was head team physician. I didn't make any concussion rule in, rule outs. I had the primary care doctor whose specialty it was do
Okay.
it, and I supervised him. And I would quiz him and say, "Should this guy go in? Should this guy? You sure? I'll back you up. What about this? What about that?" But I don't know that I would ever make the final call.
Okay.
I would back up the calls.
Right.
Someone that knows specialty, you back the person.
He's
Yeah.
VP officiating, so maybe but maybe he's got more training than referees. It was just a question.
But there
that I
should
had.
still be someone, I think, next to him, like you said, that has some sort of medical knowledge of the
Who's a
situation.
referee who's been on the field
Right.
and done
yeah.
it. and
I know that might be hard to
mechanics.
find that combo, but I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's okay. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
question.
Right. No.
And then the other thing was the buzz down. Did it come from New York or did it come from the local guys? The question.
Took a long time.
It's just a question.
No, you're right.
I don't think anything wrong was done, and then the final question was, I'll ask it in, okay, if that is Josh Palmer, is it the same?
No.
Quarterback, big name quarterback. It's the
If
most,
that's Justin Herbert on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time when there's 8 games going on, does New York even have the ability? I mean, are there
No.
8 Troy Vincents?
No.
I mean,
yeah. Primetime game with all the Tua stuff. Yeah, they wanted to make a show of it.
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Andre Sisco did it twice and didn't get ejected or flagged for either one
Yeah.
on JuJu or MVS. So
Anyways,
one comment on.
but I'm all for
yeah.
health and safety. I'm glad they're doing what they can and the whole deal. I just find the mechanics interesting. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but yeah, what gets attention? I mean, think about this. Let's go back to attention. When Devontae Adams, quote, pushed the guy, and you all thought I was crazy. You thought he'd get suspended. I said, well, it's kind of his pathway and the whole deal. And then there was a lot of social media reaction and he's going to get suspended. A reporter said it. And then it was a bye week for the Raiders. And then what happened?
Nothing.
The noise went away.
He gave him
There's
free
nothing.
tickets, bet MGM, I don't
No,
know.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, yeah.
it went away. There wasn't a big ruckus after that.
I have a comment. Caleb Farley, he had the disc issue, and you were wondering which one. I just saw he's seeing Robert Watkins, who's it says he's a back specialist. So I would say maybe the disc, or is that not always 100%?
Neck and back go together.
Okay.
I mean,
connect.
I know
Oh, yeah.
Robert Watkins got identified by Schefter over the weekend for, who was it, going there for an opinion on and he was identified as a cervical spine specialist in an article over the weekend.
It says spine surgeon. Yes.
Now
yeah.
he's identified as a back. So he does both,
Okay.
neck and back.
Okay. No, I got
Neck
you.
and
I just
back.
didn't know if we could figure it out from that comment.
Who was it that went out to? I don't know. I don't remember. There's a guy, prominent player, that went out to see him, and there's some question marks about their return.
Okay.
we'll get to
Oh.
the bottom of it.
Maybe it was Shaq Leonard. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was. He was
Yeah,
the back.
he
He
had
had,
the
he had a
back-
setback.
setback with the back,
That's
yes.
exactly
Shaq
what it
Leonard was
Yep.
seeing him, but he was identified as a cervical spine
Right.
specialist. Whatever.
So it's like I just didn't know. Yeah, either one. I
It's
got you.
both.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, you want to get word on We just had the one distance view we said yesterday appeared to be serious.
I mean, look, it looked like on the cut eccentric load that he might have been his Achilles, but we had no close-up confirmation. People are now saying it's anything but the Achilles. They are saying it's the back of the ankle. Now, in the back of the ankle,
Strained muscle behind the ankle is what. Yeah, Rappaport
first
said.
of all,
yeah,
90% of what's behind the ankle is the Achilles tendon. It's the biggest, fattest structure there is, period,
Okay.
end of story. There's a posterior tib tendon. Of course, there's artery and nerve. There's a peroneal brevis tendon, a peroneal longus tendon. There's not a lot of muscle back there. It's too low for muscle behind the ankle.
Right.
Feel your own ankle. Do you feel any muscle back there?
No.
Peroneal brevis. Maybe there's a muscle belly down there. Maybe they mean muscle/tendon. It's fine.
right.
As long as his Achilles is not torn, it's good news. But obviously the fact that he couldn't put weight on it indicates that he's not playing this next week. And that's why you guys did some articles related to Cortland Sutton and what have you.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue for Denver is just the continuing O-line issues and Russell Wilson and the offense not clicking. I mean, they're down to running back 2 or 3. I mean, they got Chase Edmonds at the deadline is still not.
The left tackle's out for the season.
Yeah.
Garrett Bowles,
Mhm.
Billy
Turner.
re-injured his left knee. MCL's out. He's been shuffled around that side. The backup center shifted over from guard.
Starting
Starting
guard
center's hurt.
moved to center.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
They got multiple issues.
A lot
on
of
the offensive
shifting.
line.
Yeah, I was telling, so they're dead last in scoring and first in points allowed. So if that continues, they'd be the first since like a 1940s Steeler team to do that.
So what's that? Did you tell me if they scored 18 points a game?
Yep.
Every game
18 points in every game they played, they'd be 8-1
because of how much they don't give up. Yeah.
in regulation. So I know they've been to some overtime games.
I had a player to bring up for the Monday game. Obviously, he's not ready to go this year, and we've been saying this all along. Is Chase Young? They're saying they just came out today and saying he's not going to be activated again. I mean,
I need some more recent video. The last video I saw a week or two ago, he didn't look ready
good at all.
He
Yeah,
didn't look ready.
Yep.
Maybe it
Well,
was just warming up and he wasn't full go yet, individual drills, but he didn't look ready.
The spin on that is interesting. They said because they practiced indoors, the team kind of pulled back and didn't want him to go as hard. So that's why he's not ready. He's not ready because it's an ACL and it's less than
well, remember,
a
it's not an
year.
ACL. Remember, they said it's
ACL
more.
plus,
Yeah, it's
ACL
plus,
meniscus, or patella. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, is it the 1 year anniversary yet for his injury? I don't think so.
No, I
Not
don't think
yet.
so.
Okay, so let's just say if a player isn't healed in 45 weeks, the 46th week isn't going to make him 100%.
Right.
I mean, it just
One more
doesn't
week.
work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. It's got to be gradual climb, especially the last few percent.
Yeah, the Commanders just need a boost. So it'd be great for them, for their morale to see him back on the field, but you don't want to rush him and have him have a setback like J.K. Dobbins or, I mean,
And
maybe
when
that
he
wasn't
does
a
come back,
setback, but-
how effective, right? I mean,
Right.
you got to get around the edge. I mean, you got to look for him to be on the defensive left side, to have a left healthy outer leg. And J.K. Dobbins, now you bring it up, did say it was a setback, but he admitted that he wasn't fully there. It wasn't a setback because the scar tissue that he had surgery on is a direct result of the multi-ligament injury. I mean,
Right.
it was just always a bad injury.
It's not an unexpected outcome of trying to push through and play through that.
Yeah, and it's not surprising when you have a more severe injury. like
Today's
he had.
actually exactly the year.
Oh, Chase Dan.
Yeah, it was November
Chase
14th. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Happy anniversary.
Or
That's a very
or-
unhappy anniversary.
What's that?
That's a very unhappy anniversary for him.
or a year better.
I don't know. I told you the story.
I wouldn't want to remember that. I wouldn't mark it
10
on my
years.
calendar.
10 years to the day, Phillip Rivers texted me.
I think a little bit more time helps with
Well,
that. He's in the midst of his
And
rehab.
to be fair, it
yeah.
wasn't the day of his injury. It was the day of his surgery.
Right.
10th
Okay.
anniversary of his ACL surgery.
There you go.
He
Okay.
texted me and texted me. Thanks. I didn't even know.
Because that was a bonding experience for him. You guys were all hiding it. He needed to, it was just you and him, like couple other people, right? Like,
Let me tell you, we didn't really hide it.
really?
I mean, we did in this sense, but part of it is, see, I work at a private practice. So we have all the facilities, the own surgery center, own MRI, own this, that, the other. Like you have to, I won't say a name of any university, the local one, and I'm not trying to disparage anyone,
Right.
but if you have to go to the local university, you check in with a clerk, you walk in through a public area, you see different techs, like the MRI tech, we just have the one. They're there all the time. They do all the chargers. The surgery team is small. I mean,
Okay.
it's was easy. We didn't even tell anyone to keep a secret. We just knew that,
Mhm.
that the secret would be kept. The secret, I think I told the story before keeping it, was actually when we decided we were doing what we were doing, that our head coach, Norv Turner, said, don't announce it at the team. Don't announce this at the coaches meeting.
Okay.
So
I remember that story because you were like, "Oh wait, he thinks there's some snakes here." Like,
well, I mean, there's some leaks,
Yeah.
right?
Yep,
If he's saying
yeah.
don't announce it,
You're
I
like,
mean,
"Oh,
I was like, oh, that was my education to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, I wasn't doing anything immediate, like sources. But
so the whole team knew." Like,
well, the players actually knew. How do the
Okay.
players know? Because, Phillip's going to tell Billy Volek. Billy
Yeah,
Volek's
right.
going to know, and the locker mates, the locker room. And the locker room's a special place. The locker room's going to know. They're not going to go up to Phillip and say, "What do you think?" But, they saw him in a post-op dressing the next day. They saw him doing rehab all week
Right.
there. When they walked by, they probably noticed there were poke holes on his knee or surgery, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they may not have said Phillip was going on directly, but they knew. And actually, that's how the secret came out after the AFC Championship game. I believe it was a couple of players that were disappointed about the loss and being asked about the loss. And they basically, you got to go talk to that guy right there. He played 6 days after a knee scope, and I don't want to hear any criticism. Everyone's here's got a lot of heart. And that's actually how
okay.
the story came out. And I guess I could share this story. I think I might.
I was worried about bringing it up before, but I think you've said it. I don't know if
I've
you
said
it
this
or- yeah,
before.
yeah,
Phil's
yeah,
fine
yeah,
with it.
Yeah.
But you talk about leaks. It was interesting. So we get in Friday night for the AFC Championship game. And that's the year the Patriots undefeated. And Junior Seau's on that team,
Mhm.
right? And so obviously we're friends, blah, 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 blah. So on Friday night, he had said, oh, well, let me know. Friday night, they're not in a hotel. I mean, Saturday, they're in a hotel.
Okay.
So Friday night, text me. I text him. Said, oh, we're in 9:30, 10 o'clock. What are you doing? It's still early for me, right? We're grabbing late dinner because time change. And he says, yeah, this, that, the other. He wasn't going to meet up. And he said, I still remember, buddy, we know your quarterback tore his ACL and isn't going to play. You can tell me.
That's awesome. You can tell me.
We already know.
Yeah.
And all I replied was LOL. And I just let it go.
Yep. That's funny. Was he surprised that he played, or?
Well, he didn't know the whole story,
Okay.
obviously, but
Right,
either
right.
that or Bill had intelligence or something, right?
Oh, of course.
Something.
Yeah.
But he probably was just taking a stab at it,
Right.
It's looking for a reaction.
It just reminds you a little bit of the Jimmy G situation. Remember with Bennett and stuff, like how I just don't know how much you tell the team such stuff, right? Like
They
didn't
don't
tell-
get a report,
yeah.
but they,
Like
they-
Bennett act like he didn't know Jimmy, or he thought Jimmy was going to play until Brissett was out there, right? So I don't know how much some players know and some don't. And it's the Patriots. I know they lock down a lot over there. But.
yeah, I think for the Patriots especially, but people are going to tell their friends in the locker room,
Right.
But that's a tight bond, right? You're not going to
Mhm.
go outside that bond. That's how we kept the secret. We didn't even make a big effort. We just kept the secret.
And the team kept it together. Yeah.
Oh, and talk about coach speak. Coach Turner, I don't think will mind.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
We're friends. Yeah.
After our meeting with Phillip, and he goes, well, okay, you're going to go off and do the surgery. And Phillip didn't have anything to eat and drink. He was ready to go from the get-go. We got the MRI that night, whatever. And I said to Coach, it was him, the head athletic trainer, me on the head athletic trainer's office. I said, what are you going to tell the media? He goes, yeah, don't tell the coaches. Don't. I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't usually go to the coaches' meeting. It's just James. So
Right.
he's not going to tell them anything about the knee scope or anything else. And I said, well, what are you going to tell the media? Because, he usually does his press conference Monday, and he says, I'll just tell them we're still evaluating, or, MRI's pending. The MRI that we got on Sunday night when we landed.
Right. That one.
Okay. And I was like, okay, what are you going to tell them tomorrow?
Because that's only a one-day thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
And this is why we said with Sean McDermott, when he said on Monday, we're still evaluating. Do you think they didn't get the MRI by noon? I mean, come on. They got it first thing in the morning or Sunday night. Okay. He wasn't lying. They're still evaluating what to do, not evaluating the elbow.
Right.
And I said, I normally don't get involved in it, but Coach was like, what should I tell him? I said, well, he does have an MCL component why don't you just say it's an MCL?
Right.
You wouldn't even be lying.
Yeah.
Coach speak,
But not lying.
Not lying.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say what we do, insider knowledge in terms of how things work, not just never insider information. Just having been on that side of the equation is a tremendous advantage trying
Right.
to look at some of this stuff.
All right, let's get to Beast of the Week. Got a good one from college football. Nebraska wide receiver gets airborne, gets a helmet where you don't want to get hit, and then lands on his neck, pops right up after.
I mean, that looks like a rodeo clown getting tossed, right? I mean, I'm sure Justin's showing the video.
It's Alante Brown,
Remember,
sophomore, I believe.
remember no cups.
Yeah,
Just like the Rams next week.
no cup.
Sorry.
Justin, I hope you have sound effect on that one.
He said it to me earlier, and it
I already-
felt just
yeah,
as flat.
yeah.
So
I mean, where's your soundboard?
There it is.
there it is.
There you go. Honestly, I liked it a lot. So it was a good
Like the
joke.
joke or the sound? Sound
No, the
effect?
joke. The
Oh,
joke
thank
was
you.
good. It just
Yeah, I
I'm
thought so.
sorry. I'm sorry the audience. The
No,
audience
I know
needed
it's
more.
all right. Audience,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about them. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to mention. So you posted the clip on your Twitter, Doc, and Brad Ziegler, ex MLB pitcher, ex Oakland A and Diamondback, all that said appears to be more taint than junk. His medical analysis. I don't know if this podcast is appropriate, but I want to give Brad
I'm
Brad
not.
Ziegler a shout out.
It's all good. Well, my other beast of the week one is, you see the Baker Mayfield video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
Headbutting everybody.
Head congratulations. Yeah.
Headbutting everyone as they come out, and he didn't have a helmet on. He just
Yeah.
had a regular hat. But if Justin plays that video, you'll see some of his the offensive linemen that he headbutts. He wasn't even starting that game. I was like, hey, you're going to give yourself a concussion.
Right.
Forget watching Baker Mayfield do that. Look at the reaction on a handful of the offensive
that
linemen
was-
after.
They're
They look at him like,
what
That
the
was not
hell?
planned at all. Yeah,
what
it's the first time he's ever done that for sure.
They're like, I don't think we even like
and
you.
he got him pretty hard. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know if it was like, why are you doing that to me? Or was it, dude, you don't have a helmet on, or you're crazy. We need to caption that. I mean, that would be, you guys can do that for TikTok. You can capture the response of the bubble thought in the lineman's
His
head
reasoning behind that.
as
Yeah.
they look behind him. That
Well,
was an interesting one.
During
for sure.
Sunday's game, I had to run it back multiple times because I thought the Steelers defenders did that. They got one of I forget who it was on the Steelers, but got a strip sack and they got the ball back, and then KZ goes over to him on the bench, and the other guy's sitting there without a helmet, and they did the fake headbutt. So maybe they're making fun of Baker now that I'm thinking about it, because I thought he had a helmet on and full on headbutted him.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll have to pull up that clip, send it to
I
Justin.
didn't see
But yeah,
Sorry. I had a Beast of the Week nominee, Jake Matthews, getting to the field after having a child.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you know,
drove back, right? I think
Have you-
game was in
no,
Carolina.
come on. Come on. I
He
don't
walked-
know.
he
I'm
walked-
saying what's
he walked
publicly
back.
reported.
I don't. Yeah,
He walked back. They won.
drove back in a Fred Flintstone car
If you,
pedaling.
if
No,
you can't make it true, make it good.
Yeah.
my guess, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know this. He took Arthur Blank's plane.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, Arthur Blank went, here you go.
Yeah,
Take care of it. Come back and help us out. Right. I mean,
that's not that far of a drive. Come on, Atlanta to Carolina.
Justin, how far is that drive? Justin's
Right.
tending to the
Justin
baby.
100%
No,
knows
so-
that
so
answer,
you-
though. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Charlotte to Atlanta. That's probably like a almost 4 hour drive. It's about four. Maybe a little over 4 actually. But
So he
yeah.
definitely flew then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
he flew. He flew.
The
I
best
mean,
part
come
is
on.
him running in just all like flustered and flip flops and
And
not know where to go,
flip-flops.
and they're pointing him to the right locker room. Yeah, I
Get
like
some-
that part.
Get some shoes on. You can run faster.
He's like, I'm about to. Like,
no,
I'm
good-
trying.
no, those family stuff were fun. The other one is what about Mama Bosa with all the diamonds dripping?
That's
Yeah.
right.
She was dripping.
I mean,
She playing that outfit for a while, definitely.
It's $1,000 whatever jewelry, but like a $5 jersey, maybe, right?
I don't know. I mean,
The
pull-
stitching's off. a
you'll
little
pull up
bit there.
this jersey picture, Justin, of if you. I'll pull it up now, but Justin will pull it up in the thing. If you look at it though, It's a really interesting thing. She's got all the diamonds and everyone's looking at it, but
I think that she made this stuff herself because I know some people do like that little rhinestone bedazzled stuff. That's what her hat looks like. Something she made.
But save a diamond and get a better tailor. What is up with that? It looks like a Picasso.
Yeah,
I mean the 9 and the 7 and the things aren't lined
abstract art right there.
up. Now,
yeah.
but let me ask this question. Maybe it's different. Do they wear different size jerseys, Nick and Joey?
I don't know that.
I mean, it looks like Joey's jersey is like oversized. Maybe he wears bigger pads.
Why wouldn't she
and-
just get the size of her?
Well, because he probably wants their son's actual jersey,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
I mean,
that's cool, I guess.
sentimental.
No, I get it.
But like the 9 and 7 are off cattywampus and
Yes,
and
that's my
the-
favorite word. Yep,
and
sorry.
the chart. I mean, it almost looks like I look at it. Joey's jersey, or at least the one she has, that she was bigger
Yeah,
in size as you look at it. I don't know. I'm not a tailor. You're a tailor.
I am. I was like, I am.
All right. All right, enough of that. But we'll have to give it to the guy who got rodeo clowned
Yes.
and got up from there.
Oh,
I
before we
agree.
go to, we're gonna have that good turf article we've published, right? I know we were gonna talk about it a little bit. I don't know if we
Yeah.
have time, but that's the slit film stuff's coming out. The hashtag safer fields looks like there's some kind of movement going on.
Yeah, we're gonna address that, and we don't have all the data the NFL has.
We have the ACL data, but
We
not,
have
not everything
ACL.
else. Yeah.
We'll give you the full analysis, but ACL tears from this year. Interesting stat. 16 teams play on artificial turf. 16 play on grass. 16 grass fields. 14 artificial turf. MetLife and SoFi have 2 teams. ACL tears to date through the halfway point of this season, a little more on grass than turf. Not statistically significant. Just ACL tears.
Right.
A little more on grass than turf. And if you look at some of the other stuff, who leads? MetLife Field with 3, SoFi with 3, Lions indoor slit film
Ford Field. Yep.
Ford Field with 3, Denver, forget the name of it.
Correct. Mahai Stadium.
Mahai, whatever the
But
name
they have
change
a
is.
name in in the beginning. Yep.
Grassfield with 3,
Mm-hmm.
and
Dolphins, Hard Rock.
Dolphins Hard Rock Grassfield with 3. And remember, SoFi and MetLife have 2 teams,
Right.
so there really should be 1.5. If you really broke it down, average, etc. So not a glaring difference, right? But that's just ACLs, and we'll do a whole analysis and cover that at 6 Score, etc. So look, I'm all for grass fields. I'm just saying the difference isn't as stark as it's made out to be, at least for ACLs. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can say high ankles and other things and so forth. But anyways, thanks for joining us. Sorry we went off the rails. So you want to serenade us out with Country Roads, or what do you want to do?
You can play it maybe like the soundtrack.
All right. Thanks for joining us and listening. And yeah, I'm not sure about your joke though. Save that for the another fantasy
I
football
will.
podcast.
I will. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, guys. Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening, watching SICScore.com. And look, I'm telling you, fantasy guys, go look up the 6 Score player page and do your comparisons. It's very helpful for DFS and fantasy because you get the health of the run defense your running back is facing.
Justin Jefferson was one we promoted in our newsletter. First
CeeDee
one.
Lamb.
Yes. Yep. CeeDee Lamb.
Jeff
Justin-
Wilson Jr.
Justin Jefferson was our prop pick of the week based on
Right.
Bills' pass defense. We give
Right.
it out on Jim Rome's podcast. And when we gave it out on Thursday on the podcast, his prop numbers went even up. We expected it to be high 70s, low 80s.
And that's what it was. 81.
81.
Mhm.
Right.
And he got what, 193?
Yes.
I mean, some of it is just because he's Superman,
Right.
but some of it was the pass defense.
I like
as
getting
well.
props over 100 of the number. That makes me feel like we knew something that
Do you get paid double?
I hope.
No.
No.
All right. Thanks for listening and watching, and go to SICScore.com. Thanks.